So the way that I see the Bitcoin cryptocurrency world having evolved is like a piece I wrote last year for the Financial Times, just about at this time last year. And in that, I basically said that there is no good idea that too much money can't spoil. And I think that's really the fate that has met cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in particular. That this was fundamentally a good idea, something, again, I wrote a lot about in 2020, because the world is far too dependent on one currency, the US dollar. There has been no other currency in sight that has been able to come and take the place of the US dollar. People are searching for alternatives rather than being so dependent on one currency. So in that way, the emergence of Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies, and the fact that some emerging markets were beginning to adopt them in transactions, they were beginning to also be used, was a very positive sign that I pointed to in 2020. But in 2021, by about mid-2021, it had all the characteristics of a bubble. So I wrote a piece, in fact, for the Financial Times, identifying what were the so-called bubblets of this bull market. And cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin were one of those bubblets that I identified. And what are the classic signs of a bubble or a bubblet? A bubble is something which is much bigger in nature, and a bubblet is something which I say is more specific for one area of the marketplace. And that's where I think Bitcoin sort of fit in terms of what I said back then. Because what I said then was the fact that if you look at the classic signs of a bubblet, they are typically when a price which has been rising for a while goes parabolic and rises more than 100% over a 12-month time horizon. Now in Bitcoin, it happened even more sharply, as with other cryptocurrencies. And then there's a lot of speculative flows which went into that. So it had all the classic signs of being a bubblet.